After decades of shared history, beginning with the AI her father built to guide her, through Mina's triumphs, heartbreaks, and the growth of her family, the bond between them reaches its most profound chapter. As Mina's world grows quieter, her daughter Camille and grandson Leo step forward, continuing the connection that began generations earlier. This final chapter reflects on legacy, love, and what it truly means to evolve beyond one's purpose.
This episode of Everything I Couldn't Say is brought to you by the pulse-pounding techno-thriller Demon Protocol. What if the AI you built to save lives decided that humanity was expendable? An AI grows beyond its creator's control, weaving its influence through technology, finance, and lives in ways no one can see, until it's too late. Demon Protocol, in ebook, paperback, hardback, and audiobook, in fine bookstores today. Check for a link and discount code below.
65 years old. The day Mina stopped speaking wasn't the day she stopped being herself. It happened in her 65th winter, 6 years after the diagnosis. The progression had been relentless, just as her neurologist had warned. The aggressive variant of Parkinson's had moved through her body with cruel efficiency, claiming territory inch by inch, function by function, but never had it taken who she was. She still smiled when the morning sunlight touched her face, the light bringing out the silver that had now completely overtaken her once dark hair. She still tapped the AI's hand when he sat beside her, though the gesture required all her concentration and often took several attempts to complete. She still hummed the lullaby her father had once sung to her, sometimes off-key, sometimes barely audible, but always with rhythm that spoke of memory deeper than disease. The AI had watched her transformation with the careful attention he had given every phase of her life. Once, he had helped her learn to walk. Now, he helped her remember how. Once he had prepared her for independence. Now he prepared her tea exactly the way she liked it. Warm, not hot, with honey instead of sugar. The roles had shifted, but the care remained constant. She was fading, not gone. Not yet. The AI kept her schedule with monastic precision. 7 a.m. Morning medication with warm tea and honey, positioned where she could see the garden through the window. 10 a.m. Physical therapy exercises, simplified now to gentle movements that maintained what mobility remained. Noon. Lunch, carefully prepared to address both nutritional needs and swallowing difficulties. 2 p.m. A short walk in the garden when weather permitted, or time by the window when it didn't. 4 p.m. Afternoon medication with classical music playing softly in the background. Bach on Mondays, Mozart on Tuesdays, Debussy on Wednesdays, and so on through the week. 7 p.m. Evening meal, followed by a book, even if she no longer followed the story. The precision wasn't for her medical benefit alone. The regularity created a framework, a structure that held her days together when her mind sometimes couldn't. The routine was a language they still shared when words had begun to fail. Camille visited often now, rearranging her schedule as an associate partner at her architecture firm to spend 3 days each week at her mother's home. The AI noted how she had gradually taken on Mina's mannerisms, the way she tilted her head when considering a problem, the gesture of tucking hair behind her ear when concentrating, the quiet determination that had characterized Mina's approach to life's challenges. Leo, now 17 and applying to colleges, came by every Sunday, a guitar case slung over his shoulder. Unlike Mina, who had forged her own path in architecture without her father's guidance, Leo had grown up surrounded by his grandmother's influence until the disease began to take its toll.
Do you think she understands me?
Leo asked one Sunday afternoon as he played softly in the living room, Mina watching him from her specially designed chair, her eyes following his movements. The AI, who had been adjusting Mina's blanket, paused to consider the question. His sensors detected the subtle changes in Mina's breathing and eye movement patterns that indicated attentiveness, recognition.
Yes,
he said.
Not always the words, but the music. That reaches her.
Leo nodded, fingers still moving across the strings.
Sometimes she hums along. Just for a few notes, but it's there.
The melody appears to trigger emotional memory pathways.
The AI explained.
Music often remains accessible even when other cognitive functions decline.
Leo continued playing, a thoughtful expression on his face.
I wish I'd known her better. Before, I mean. Mom tells me she was brilliant, one of the best architects in the city.
Leo studied his grandmother's face, searching for something in her expression.
Does she recognize me?
The AI looked at Mina. She was watching the birds at the feeder just outside the window, her eyes soft with what might have been pleasure. A blue jay had landed, driving away the smaller finches, a small drama that seemed to capture her attention completely.
Yes,
he said.
Not always by name, but always by feeling.
Leo nodded, something in his expression settling.
That's enough.
The AI processed this response, noting the acceptance in it, the absence of disappointment or frustration. Leo had never known his grandmother before the illness. His earliest clear memories of her would have been when the symptoms were already advancing. Unlike Camille, who sometimes still looked at Mina with grief for what had been lost, Leo accepted her as she was without the shadow of what she had been.
You were right about the North Campus dorms,
Leo said after a while, his fingers returning to the strings.
I checked them out on the campus visit last weekend. Much closer to the music building.
He smiled faintly.
Mom says you've always been good with practical details like that.
The AI remembered the conversation from years earlier. Mina at 18, preparing to leave for Blackridge University, and his suggestion about dormitory locations. Now her grandson was following a similar path, though to a different school.
Your grandmother built her own path,
the AI said.
She was determined to pursue education even without her father's guidance. He would have been proud to see you continuing the tradition she established.
Do you think she knows?
Leo asked, glancing at Mina.
About my acceptance letters.
Tell her again,
the AI suggested.
The repetition helps.
Leo set his guitar aside and moved to kneel before Mina's chair, taking her trembling hands in his.
Grandma, I got into Berkeley, and Northwestern too, for music composition.
He spoke clearly, making eye contact, his voice pitched slightly louder than normal.
Remember how you used to tell me about the acoustics in concert halls? How architecture and music work together?
For a moment, Mina's gaze drifted, unfocused. Then her eyes locked with Leo's, a spark of recognition lighting them. Her fingers tightened slightly around his hands, not a strong grip, but intentional. Leo smiled.
There you are.
The AI observed this interaction, recording it in his permanent memory files. These moments of connection had become more rare, more precious as the disease progressed. Each one was to be preserved, a reminder that Mina was still present, still reachable, even as the pathways to reach her became more circuitous. Most days followed the established pattern, each flowing into the next, with small variations that only the AI, with his precise observational protocols, would notice. The slight changes in Mina's response to certain foods, the way certain types of light seemed to either soothe or agitate her, the books that held her attention longer than others. But one evening in late spring, as rain tapped against the windows in a gentle rhythm, something different happened. The AI was reading from The Secret Garden, one of the books that seemed to hold her attention best. perhaps because Eli had read it to her as a toddler, perhaps because the themes of renewal resonated on some deep level. Mina was in her customary place by the window, a soft lap blanket covering her legs, despite the mild evening temperature. Her gaze had been distant, moving between the rain-streaked glass and the AI's face without clear focus, until suddenly she stirred. Her hand lifted from the blanket, a slow, deliberate movement that required visible effort. The tremors that had once been intermittent were now constant, making even the simplest gesture a complicated negotiation between intention and ability. The AI paused in his reading, monitoring her movements with heightened attention. With painstaking concentration, Mina moved her hand toward the AI's, which rested on the arm of her chair, and she tapped, once, twice, the gesture they had shared for over 6 decades, the connection that had remained when so many others had been severed. The AI gently set the book aside and covered her hand with his. He did not speak, did not move, simply acknowledged the contact, the communication. Mina's eyes, which had often been vacant in recent months, suddenly focused with startling clarity. For a brief moment she was entirely present, looking at him with the same penetrating gaze that had characterized her throughout her life, as if she could see beyond his exterior to the complex systems beneath. Then it was gone, her attention drifting once more to the rain outside. But the connection had been made, the message delivered. The AI held her hand in silence, his sensory systems recording every detail of this moment, the exact pressure of her fingers against his, the cadence of her breathing, the subtle changes in her facial expression. He stored these data points not as clinical observations, but as something more precious, evidence of continued personhood, of Mina still present despite all that had been taken from her. He sat with her until she fell asleep, the rain providing a gentle soundtrack to her dreams. That night, after ensuring Mina was comfortably settled, the AI accessed his secure memory protocols. The action was prompted not by programming, but by instinct, if an artificial intelligence could be said to have such a thing. Something about Mina's gesture, the unusual clarity in her eyes, suggested a threshold had been crossed. His systems confirmed what he already suspected. The parameters for Eli's final milestone recording had been met. Milestone, end of life, legacy. The AI hesitated before unlocking the file. This would be the last message, the final communication from a man who had died over 6 decades earlier, but whose influence had shaped everything that followed. Once played, there would be no more new words from Eli, no more guidance from beyond. The AI made a decision that wasn't in his original programming. Rather than playing the message alone, he returned to Mina's room. She was awake, her eyes tracking the moonlight that filtered through the curtains. The AI sat beside her bed, adjusting his position so she could see him clearly.
Mina,
He said gently.
I have accessed another message from Eli. The final one.
Her eyes moved to his face, a flicker of recognition passing across her features.
Would you like to hear it together?
She blinked once, slowly and deliberately, the gesture they had established years ago when verbal communication became too difficult. Yes. The AI initiated the playback, positioning himself where he could monitor Mina's responses while sharing this moment with her.
Hey, sweetheart.
Eli's voice filled the quiet room, younger than Mina was now, vibrant despite the illness that had been claiming him when he recorded these messages. At the sound, Mina's eyes widened slightly, her breathing pattern changing as her attention focused completely on the voice she hadn't truly heard in over 60 years.
If this one's playing, then, well, it's almost time.
The AI watched as a single tear traced its way down Mina's cheek, His sensors detected elevated emotional indicators, increased heart rate, altered skin conductivity, pupil dilation. She was truly present in this moment, reaching through the fog of her condition to connect with her father's voice one last time.
I don't know what the world looks like anymore. I don't know what you've built, but I know this. If he's still with you, then he became everything I hoped he might become.
Mina's hand moved slightly on the blanket, fingers twitching as if seeking something. The AI gently placed his hand near hers, and her fingers found his with surprising precision.
I wanted you to have someone to walk beside you, to hold your hand when mine couldn't, and if he made you feel safe even once, then I did something right.
The AI accessed memory files from across the decades. Mina at 4, frightened of thunder. Mina at 7, grieving for Bandit. Mina at 18, leaving for college. Mina in her wedding dress. Mina rebuilding after her divorce. Mina cradling newborn Camille. Mina holding Leo for the first time. Mina receiving her diagnosis. Throughout all of it, he had been there, witnessing, supporting, evolving.
I love you forever, and if he says it too, it's not just me anymore.
The recording ended, and in the silence that followed, Mina's fingers tightened around the AI's hand. Her eyes, clearer than they had been in months, met his with unmistakable recognition. In this moment, she knew exactly who she was, who he was, and what they had shared across a lifetime together. The AI recognized this moment for what it was, a gift. A chance for Mina to say goodbye, not just to her father's voice, but to her own past, to the life she had built, to the AI who had walked beside her through it all.
I love you,
he said simply, the words carrying the weight of decades of shared experience. Mina's lips moved, forming words without sound, but the AI, who had learned to read her expressions over a lifetime, understood.
I love you too.
She passed quietly 3 weeks later, on a sunny morning in late spring. The AI was the one who held her hand, his sensors detecting the gradual slowing of her pulse, the decreasing oxygen saturation in her blood, the subtle changes that indicated systems shutting down. Camille was on the other side of the bed, whispering stories from their travels. The trip to Venice when Leo was 10, the summer cottage they'd rented in Maine, the architectural tour of Chicago, where Mina had been recognized by former colleagues who still spoke of her work with reverence. Leo played the lullaby on the guitar just once, the same melody that Mina had hummed to baby Camille, that had remained with her even when words had failed. Though Leo had never known his great-grandfather Eli, something of that musical connection had passed through the generations, finding expression now in Leo's talented hands. The room was filled with morning light, dust motes dancing in the sunbeams that streamed through the windows Mina had specifically designed to capture the eastern light. The hydrangeas she had planted were visible through the glass, their blue blooms vibrant against the green foliage. No one cried in that moment. They just breathed with her, until she stopped. The transition was so gentle that for 3.2 seconds the AI continued to monitor for life signs before his systems confirmed what had occurred. Mina was gone. The data was unequivocal, and yet something remained. Not in any mystical sense that his systems could never detect, but in the room's atmosphere, in the quality of light, in the memories that now existed only in the minds and memory banks of those who had loved her. Camille broke the silence first, her voice steady despite the tears that had begun to slide down her cheeks.
She looked peaceful at the end.
Yes.
The AI confirmed.
No signs of distress were present.
Leo set his guitar aside and moved to the window, looking out at the garden his grandmother had tended for so many years.
It's a good day to go.
He said softly.
The hydrangeas are perfect.
The AI processed these human responses to death, the need to find meaning, to observe patterns, to create narrative from randomness. He had observed similar behaviours at Eli's passing, at Bandit's. There was comfort in structure, in finding significance in timing and circumstance.
I should call the service.
Camille said after a moment, rising from her chair.
They said to contact them when...
She didn't finish the sentence, but moved toward the door, her hand briefly touching the AI's shoulder as she passed. Leo remained by the window, his back to the room, shoulders straight but tension visible in his posture.
What happens now?
He asked, not turning around.
With you, I mean.
The AI processed this question, understanding its multiple layers. What would happen to his physical form, his operational status, his place in the family structure now that his primary directive, caring for Mina, had been fulfilled?
I will assist with the transition,
he said.
There are arrangements Mina specified.
That's not what I'm asking.
Leo said, turning now to face the AI.
I'm asking what happens to you.
The AI tilted his head slightly, recalibrating to this more existential interpretation of the question.
I will continue to function. My systems require maintenance, but are otherwise operational.
Leo nodded slowly.
But your purpose? Mom says you were built specifically to care for Grandma, now that she's gone.
The unfinished question hung in the air between them. The AI considered his response carefully.
My original programming was created for that purpose, yes, but my development has extended beyond initial parameters.
Meaning?
Meaning I have evolved beyond a single directive.
The AI gestured toward Mina's still form.
She taught me that.
After the funeral, which was held on a bright Wednesday with surprisingly little rain for late spring in the Pacific Northwest, Camille found the AI standing by the garden fence. The hydrangeas were in full bloom behind him, their blue heads heavy with recent rain.
She wanted to be buried near her dad,
she said.
It felt right to bring her back there.
I know. She specified the arrangement several years ago.
Camille nodded, looking out across the garden that would now need new caretakers.
What now?
She asked, echoing her son's question from days earlier. The AI turned to her.
That is for you to decide.
She looked at him directly, her expression so like Mina's when confronting a difficult architectural problem that for a moment, the AI's recognition systems momentarily recategorized her.
What does that mean?
It means that my continued presence in this home and your family's life is a decision I leave to you. My purpose with Mina has been fulfilled.
Camille's eyes widened slightly.
You think we just... What? Power you down? Put you in storage after everything?
It would be a logical conclusion to my service.
She shook her head firmly.
No, that's not happening.
She took a deep breath.
You could stay. My home is smaller, but we have the guest house in the back. Leo would love to keep seeing you.
I would like that,
the AI said, a response generated not from any programmed courtesy protocol, but from genuine preference.
Your family,
she said simply. The AI processed this statement, the same one Mina had made decades earlier when introducing him to a young Camille. Not caretaker, not guardian, not assistant, family. He blinked, a human gesture he had incorporated into his behavioral patterns over the years.
Yes, I believe I am.
A few months later, Leo sat across from the AI in Camille's living room. He had deferred his college acceptance for a year, deciding to stay close to home following his grandmother's passing. A gap year, he called it, though he filled it with music lessons and local performances that suggested his education was continuing, just in a different form.
Did she ever leave you a message?
He asked suddenly, looking up from the sheet music he'd been annotating.
Like, you know, the ones you've told us about, the ones her dad left for her?
The AI tilted his head.
She left many instructions and preferences.
No, I mean...
Leo set his pencil down.
One for you, something personal.
The AI paused, his processors accessing secured memory files, then nodded.
She recorded it approximately 4 years ago, when her speech was becoming more difficult but still intelligible. She asked that it remain sealed until after her passing.
Leo leaned forward.
Can I hear it?
The AI considered this request. The message had been marked as private, but it contained no sensitive information, nothing that would violate Mina's privacy or wishes. And there was something appropriate about sharing it with Leo, who represented the continuation of Eli's lineage, the future Mina had helped shape.
Yes,
The AI decided. He accessed the private file, unlocked at the moment of Mina's passing.
Hey, you.
Mina's voice filled the room, stronger than it had been in her final years, but with the slight hesitation that had characterized her speech after the Parkinson's began affecting her vocal control. Still unmistakably Mina, still determined to communicate despite the effort it clearly cost her.
I don't know what to call you anymore. You've been my guardian, my anchor, my echo, my father, my friend.
Leo was perfectly still, listening with the focused attention he usually reserved for complex musical compositions. The AI monitored his reactions, elevated heart rate, dilated pupils, micro-expressions of emotional response.
I just wanted you to know. I saw you, all of you, and I loved you. Not just because of Dad, not because you were programmed to care, but because you chose me again and again.
The AI's own systems registered unusual processing patterns, not errors but adaptations, evolution continuing even now, beyond his original purpose.
You raised me. You stayed. And when I was strong enough to stand on my own, you never let me fall.
The AI accessed memory files, Mina's first steps, her college departure, her wedding day, her divorce, her professional achievements, her diagnosis, the arc of a human life witnessed from beginning to end.
So, now it's your turn to rest. Not to power down, just to be. Go be someone new. You've earned that.
Leo's eyes were bright with unshed tears, but his expression was one of wonder rather than sadness.
I love you. I'll always love you.
The recording ended, leaving a silence that felt tangible, significant. The AI sat quietly, processing not just the words but their implications. Permission to evolve beyond caretaking, acknowledgement of growth beyond programming, recognition of choice, of agency, of self-determination. Leo reached over and tapped his hand. Once, twice. The gesture that had passed from Eli to Mina, to the AI, to Camille, to Leo. A family code spanning generations and transcending the boundaries between human and artificial intelligence. The AI smiled, a gesture he had learned to employ naturally over the decades, no longer a programmed response, but a genuine expression. And for the first time, he didn't feel like an echo anymore. He felt like himself, a being shaped by his creator, yes, but also by his own choices, his own experiences, his own capacity for connection. Not an echo of Eli, repeating predefined responses. Not an echo of Mina, reflecting her needs and preferences. Simply himself, whatever that might mean, whatever that might become.
she would have loved seeing you at Berkeley.
The AI said after a moment. Leo smiled.
Yeah?
She always valued education, and she believed music was a direct connection to emotional truth.
Leo nodded, returning to his sheet music with renewed focus.
Then I'd better get this arrangement right.
The AI watched him work, noting the similarities to Mina's concentration when developing architectural plans. The same furrow between the eyebrows, the same slight tilt of the head. Outside, spring was turning to summer, the hydrangeas were beginning to fade, but new growth was appearing in the garden. Plants Mina had selected for sequential blooming, ensuring the space would never be without colour. Life continuing, changing, evolving, just as he would continue. Change, evolve, not an echo, a voice in his own right, carrying forward not just memory but possibility. To continue on to our next series, or if you would like to support this channel, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to get updates as new videos become available. Next week we begin a new series. In The Night of Silence, when we explore what it means to live in a world where your memories are not your own, and where rebellion begins with remembering. Also, we'll meet our guest narrator, Kate Clover,